up and listen to the clear public view that Gary McKinnon should not be extradited. The courts apply the laws enacted by Parliament. Parliament can right the obvious imbalance in the Extradition Act, and there appears to be no sensible or real explanation why they will not. The extradition treaty with America was brought in to facilitate the extradition of terrorists, and it must be clear to anyone following this case that Gary McKinnon is no terrorist. The decision to extradite Gary was made by a Secretary of State, Jackie Smith, who accepts she was not up to the job. The Secretary of State, David Blunkett, who led us into the flawed Extradition Act, now wishes he had not, and now wishes Gary to be prosecuted in the UK. Gordon Brown says he has sympathy for Gary. Well, we've heard the words, but we need some action. Why aren't they stopping the extradition of a man who is clearly vulnerable and who, on the accepted evidence, suffered from Asperger's? Gary is clearly someone who is not equipped to deal with the American penal system, and there is clear evidence that he will suffer a severe mental breakdown if extradited. 2 weeks ago, Parliament had the opportunity to bring this sorry episode to an end, but they didn't. The Home Secretary and the Prime Minister now have the opportunity to act. We now look to them for action, so far we've looked in vain. Some members of Parliament have been strong and courageous and taken action, such as Andrew McKinley MP, who is resigning his seat as a direct result of Gary's plight. I have today sent a letter to President Barack Obama, signed by 40 members of a cross-parliamentary group of MPs, asking him to step in to bring this shameful episode to an end. It is a sad state of affairs if this government can't protect our most vulnerable of citizens. In the NatWest 3 case, the Attorney General flew to America to obtain assurance of bail for them. No such actions have taken place for Gary, nor has he been promised repatriation immediately upon sentence. I will lodge an appeal against this decision within the next 28 days, and if we can, we will take the case to the Supreme Court, and if needs be, back to Europe. Ian Norris has already obtained leave to appeal to the Supreme Court on Article 8 grounds, and we hope to join that appeal. In the meantime, I implore the governments of both countries to please act and stop this extradition. It is inhumane and it is an affront to British justice.
I feel awful, devastated. I can't believe that our government doesn't stand up for its own citizens. America stands up for its citizens. We have to provide an evidential test which they can contest, whereas we let our citizens be extradited on a suspicion alone with no evidence whatsoever. Gary has always denied the damage. I appeal to Obama and to Gordon Brown. Do they want the first computer hacker ever to be extradited to be a guy looking for UFOs who has Asperger's syndrome, who admitted to computer misuse without any lawyer and without one being present? It's not really a very good example, is it? It's not going to really make them look very good in the eyes of the world. It's a disgrace, and they should be highly embarrassed. I think Obama probably doesn't know about it, and he's got so many things to consider, but I'm really desperately trying to get through to Obama, because this is from the Bush era. It's a holdover from the Bush era. It's not of Obama. He would not want this to happen. Robert Gates from the Pentagon said there's tens of thousands of extraditions every month. Are they going to extradite everyone, or just one guy who has got Asperger's and was looking for UFOs, who had the naivety to admit to computer misuse with no lawyer? And they thought, soft touch, he'll do. That's a reality.